You're listening to the Flip Houses Like a Girl podcast, where we educate, empower, and celebrate everyday women who are facing their fears, juggling family and business, embracing their awesomeness, and wholeheartedly chasing their dream of flipping houses. Each episode delivers honest to goodness tools, tips, and strategies you can implement today to get closer to your first or next successful house flip. Here's your spiky-haired, breakfast taco-loving host, house flipping coach, Debbie DeBeery.
Have I got a treat for you today? All right, what's up? Thank you for hanging out with me today and spending some time. So here's the thing. I promise you, you're going to come away from this episode feeling like, yes, you totally can do this thing called flipping houses, loving old houses back to life. So today's guest is one of my coaching program Flip Sister members, Wendy Scribner. So, man, one of the things that I often hear from people is, well, I live in a small town, so this is definitely not possible. I can't do it. I live in too small of a town. What's interesting is I hear the exact opposite sometimes too, right? I live in too big of a town. It's too saturated. There are too many investors. Can we call it what it is? Can we call it what both of those things are? They're excuses. They are reasons we give ourselves to stay on the sideline instead of getting into action and chasing the freaking thing we want to chase. So, today's episode is just freaking awesome. I loved this conversation. I mean, I love them all. This one I love too, because it was different. There was a different angle to it, this small town angle. And Wendy and her wife, Syndee, are completely dominating their market. They will have been under contract on, let's see, if the 3 deals this week, yes, 3 contracts this week, if all of those go through, that will be 8 properties that they have purchased since last August, since joining our program. So let's get into this conversation because it's so good. There's so much to learn here. All right, let's jump in. You want to just start by introducing yourself, letting us know where you are, who you are, a little bit of your background.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Wendy Scribner, and I'm in most people are going to know like the Wichita, Kansas area. I'm about 20 miles northeast of Wichita in a town called Dorado.
Okay. So
we mainly buy in Butler County, which is the county we live in.
Okay.
Born in Missouri, raised in Kansas. I mean, I was raised here in El Dorado and lived here most of my life, except when I went away to college and stuff like that. So my family still lives here. My wife is from El Dorado and grew up here. So
how big are we talking?
El Dorado is about 11,000 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love this. All right.
So, when I was 6 years old, my dad bought his first rental property and just kept starting to buy more and more. His goal was to buy rentals so he could put my brother and I through college. That was his whole goal of buying rentals. So when I was 6 years old, I can remember going to like properties with my dad and I would help him like clean them out. Then as I got older, I can remember like being in an attic because I was so small. He put me in the attic with the insulation gun and I was blowing in insulation in there while he was loading the machine with bags. And I was in the,
awesome.
So, I grew up doing that stuff with my dad. And then he helped me buy my first property right when I went to college. And that's kind of how I started buying real estate.
Got it.
So I have a degree in recreation administration. So by day, I work at the YMCA. And I like to call myself a fun leader. So I have a bunch of youth programs that I oversee and aquatics and all of that. So I'm a fun leader by day and a real estate investor by night.
I
So,
love it. I love it.
What else? So maybe, I don't know. I've been a real estate agent twice in my life. Like I got my license. I did it full time for a while, got bored, left, did something else, missed it, had to go back and get my real estate license again to do it. And so that's kind of a little bit about me. And then just like it was during COVID when everything got shut down and my wife and I both got sent home and we were working from home and we were bored to death, just needed something to do. And we're like, let's figure out how we can start investing in real estate. And so that's we had a lot of time to just sit at our kitchen table and talk while we were both working and kind of decided this is what we're going to do and kind of put a game plan together. And I found you on Facebook when I was doing a bunch of Facebook and Google searches. And it's like, this is exactly the group that we need to be in, the women supporting women and just the amount of support that you give and the amount of support that we get in the group. So.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm glad. I'm so glad. Like your journey has just been amazing. Like I was just, okay. So
I didn't realize how crazy it was until I wrote everything down to prepare. It's like, okay, so I wrote it all down and it's like, wow, we've done way more than I thought.
That's amazing. Okay. So let's start. How about this? What do you think? Do you think walk through, let's just start with, okay, the first thing you did was this. And does that make sense to kind of go through it chronologically?
Yeah. So I'll go through the timeline that I wrote down. So we bought into your program July 28th. So we became a flipster in July 28th. In August, we bought our first. We basically bought it, fixed it, and rented it out.
Okay. And that was a house.
That was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house.
Okay.
Right across the street from the library here in town. So it was pretty nice neighborhood. It didn't need a lot. I mean, it was basically, we painted, we put new flooring in. I mean, we put a new HVAC system. We upgraded the electrical, which didn't necessarily need to be done for a rental, but we had the funds to do it. So we just decided to do it.
Yeah.
We did most of the work ourselves, except for the contracting stuff like HVAC and electrical. Rented it out I think it took us a couple of months because we both have full-time jobs. So we were doing it on weekends and evenings. We rented it out in November.
Okay. Awesome.
So in October, so we bought that in August. In October, we had a property that was brought to us by my wife is a big sister. And so her mom,
oh, wow,
referred us a deal that was for sale that she knew was for sale right next door to her. So that's kind of how we got that flipped. So we bought it and we decided we're going to flip this one. And so that was supposed to be a 3-month deal. The timeline was 3 months. We'll come back to that. I'll get that's the whole conversation.
That's a teaser. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we bought a flip in October. We closed on it on a Thursday. We left on Friday to go elope that weekend. And then we were gone for a week on our honeymoon. So we bought it, left, and then came back and started working on it.
I love it.
In January, we bought a commercial building. That's a whole funny story. My brother had the opportunity to buy the old lumber yard here in town, 15,000 square feet. It has two big, huge, drive-through bays, and it has commercial space. And then on top, it's I want to make it into 2 awesome, apartments.
Very cool.
So he had an opportunity to buy it, but he couldn't do it by himself at the time just because he was so thin with everything else he's got going on. And I'm like, hey, I have somebody that might be interested in buying that with you. So I talked to my contact and we went and walked through it. And I'm like, hey, I want in on this deal. This is going to be a pretty amazing deal. So we ended up, my wife and I, another couple, and my brother partnered. So there's 5 of us.
Okay.
We created an LLC called Fifth Wheel LLC.
I love it.
Yeah. And bought this building. We haven't done much to it yet, but it's been like all three parties are using it for storage right now. And we have one side rented out. So we have some income coming in. So it's really, really cheap for us monthly. And it's like a ton of storage.
Nice.
And then we have some plans as far as like the commercial area. And like I said, I want to make the upstairs that is just really cool into like 2 cool apartments.
Yeah. Okay. So like, where is it located? Like, is it in the town or is it outside of? It's in it.
It's in El Dorado.
Okay.
It used to be a lumber yard.
Okay.
And the lumber yard went out. I wouldn't say they went out of business because they're still in business, but they left El Dorado and went to another town.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So it's like I said, it's got these 2 huge, like, I wish I knew how long the drive-through bays were, but literally you have like a garage door on one side and you can like drive through and drive out the other side.
That's so cool. What are y'all's plans? Do y'all know for sure what you're going to do? Or are you just kind of kicking things around still?
Oh, the commercial space, which is kind of like in the middle, like in the front part of the middle. I don't even know how many square foot. Is commercial. We can make it into commercial space. We've kicked around some like making it into like some office spaces that we could rent out. We've talked about just making it one big space and then renting it out to like a retail, except it's not in the best location. It's not like off Main Street or Central Street where it would be good retail space, but we could probably put 4 nice size offices in there and then actually have another room that we could put like 2 big conference rooms in to rent those out as well.
Super cool. Super cool.
So that's kind of what we're talking about. We don't have any specific plans. Some of the ideas that have been thrown around are crazy, but that's kind of like what we're thinking about right now.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Then,
what did you guys do for funding? Was that like, did y'all use cash or did you get a loan?
The owner is financing it for us.
Sweet.
Yeah. So we just had to I don't even know how many percent, but I mean, it was very cheap. We hardly put any down and then are just paying him a monthly fee and we're splitting it 3 ways. So very reasonable.
I love it. Okay. So you've got a rental, you've got a flip, and you've got a commercial building. All right. Okay. Now we're into January. So then what happened?
That was January. So that's when we bought that. In March, we bought our forever home and are still slowly moving stuff in. In April, we sold our flip property.
Okay.
Which took 3 months longer than it should have. And then just this week, we've gone under contract twice. We are buying a property in a smaller town, which is maybe like an hour away from here.
Okay.
It's going to be a flip. We bought it from a wholesaler. Just last night, we went under contract on another property that we bought from our electrician. And that's going to be a quick wholesale house.
Oh my God. Okay. Jesus. Just stop. Okay.
Tomorrow we close on a property. I mean, we're selling a property tomorrow.
Woman. Okay. This is insane. Yeah. So when you write all that down, that's a lot that you've done. Like, I'm in tears at how much you've done. Okay. So I love this. So, for so many reasons, I love this, but especially these women in small towns, right? Mm-hmm. Who said it's not possible. Can't do it. Can't be an investor in a small town. And I'm like, are you serious? Because Wendy pretty much like you guys pretty soon you'll own El Dorado. Like, so yeah, it is possible.
Absolutely.
Like, Do you think that, so I always preach this is a relationship business, right? Like it's all about relationships and not necessarily networking. I don't love the word networking, but like, it's like knowing people, having conversations with people, letting people know what you're up to, and being open to receiving information, right? Receiving deals from people. So do you feel like, or have most of your deals come from like word of mouth kind of things, except this one wholesaler one?
The one that we bought and kept as a rental, that was an MLS deal.
Nice.
And we saw it and we went and looked at it and I'm like, it's a cute house. It's got potential. I think we could rent it for a decent amount, except it was like $20,000 more, listed for $20,000 more than it would work for us to make it an income producing property.
Okay.
So we went and looked at it, told our real estate agent to keep us in the loop. If something happens, it lowers the price, we'll be interested. Like maybe 2 weeks later, it went under contract and then came back on the market. And when it came back on the market, they lowered it $20,000. So we're like, okay, we want to make an offer. Let's buy it. And so the first deal was an MLS deal. The first flip property, like I said, was a referral from someone we knew.
Yep.
Who knew the owner next door was a tired landlord and wanted to be done because the renter just trashed the house. And so she got us the lady's name and number. We called her and got that property.
Nice.
The commercial building was actually a guy I went to high school with that my brother has like a business relationship with. And so that's how we found that deal. The property that we're going, the next flip property was a wholesale from a wholesaler.
Yep.
And I saw it in like some Facebook groups, but didn't like think about it. And I was looking on Marketplace and then I found it and I'm like, hey, we're in the market. And then the property that we're going to hotel is from our electrician.
I love it. Like, yes, it's possible. Yes, it's obviously possible in a small town. And I feel like, there's just pros and cons to both. Like there are benefits and advantages and disadvantages to all of it. And it doesn't matter where you are. Like I'm blown away by what you've done. Like I knew y'all had been doing stuff, but what in the world? Okay.
So I haven't even told you about a call that I got yesterday.
Oh gosh.
Actually, I got a Facebook message from a lady that I've known forever. She's a real estate agent here in town. And she just texted me or Facebook messaged me and says, are you guys still buying properties? And I said, absolutely. What do you have? So she told me about a property that her buyer wants to sell. Her seller wants to sell as is. His renter just trashed the house. It's a huge 3-bedroom, 1-bath house, 2-car garage, and it has a garage apartment. So there's like 2 rental income producing properties. And she told me the price and it's like, we could fix that up. And, he wants to sell it for $50,000, probably after repair value would probably be about $130 right now. Wow. Except that's exactly the type of rentals we want to buy and hold.
Yeah.
3-bedroom, 1-bath garage. That's our go-to criteria right there.
Awesome.
And it's like, and then we got the bonus apartment on top. We can fix it up. So we are supposed to be getting into it soon. We drove by it last night. It's like 6 blocks from our house. It's across the street from a park.
Oh my!
Perfect location. We haven't seen the inside, so we don't know what all needs to be done. But just from the outside, we're like, we want to get in as soon as possible. We're very interested. So
that's amazing. And so this is somebody who probably has seen you posting on Facebook what you're up to, right? Like people who are trying to do this in secrecy, because if they fail, they're going to feel like they failed in public. And it's like, you can't do this in secrecy. You're making it way harder on yourself. Like let people know what you're doing. People want to help, but if they don't know what you're doing, they can't help.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
Absolutely.
So this week you've gone under contract on 2 already. and possibly one more.
Possibly, yes. If we can get that done by tomorrow, we will have gone under contract for 3 houses. And then tomorrow at 1 p.m., we are selling a rental that we've had for, I think I've owned it for like 15 years. And I'm just ready to sell it because it needs some work and I don't want to put the money into it. And so it's a perfect investment for another investor who's buying it. And it's an income producing property, but I'm just ready to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So we actually sell it tomorrow and we're using the money we make off of that to put down on one of the properties we're under contract with this week.
That's amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7 this week. Is that right? Total?
Yeah. And if you count our forever home that we bought, that's 8. And then the house that we moved from or are still moving from, we are going to fix up and sell. So that would be 9. And then once we sell the 2 deals that we have under contract, that'll be 11. Like our goal when we set up our goals with you at the very beginning, I think our goal was to do 12 deals in the first year. And we are almost, by the end of July, we will have almost been there or should be right there.
Freaking amazing. Like I'm just blown away. I'm blown away. I'm not surprised though. Like I'm not surprised, but I'm just blown away. And that just speaks to who you are. Like you're going to make it happen.
You just got to get out there. And like you said, don't hide what you do. Like we have a Facebook page and we post stupid stuff on it. You know, like when we work in overalls. And so we post like pictures on our overalls with sledgehammers and, we post before and after photos and it's just people in our town know what we do. And, we hired a marketing person this week. I haven't even told you that. We hired a marketing person this week. So she's going to get
hiring. Your company is hiring.
Yes. So we met with her Tuesday night and, got her on the same page as like what we do, what we want to do, where we want our company to go, what our vision is for marketing. And so she's going to build our website because we don't even have a website right now. So she's going to build our website. So once we start doing more like social media posts and Google ads and all of that, we can drive people to our website and get their information.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Within a year, you're hiring. Like, that's so cool. Like, it's so cool. Okay. Let's talk about your flip. Got to?
Yeah.
Okay. So you bought it in October. You're selling it. You're closing tomorrow? No, you sold that
April.
Earlier. Yep. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that. So you found that through the friend. Mm-hmm. Well, through the little sister's mom's neighbor. Yep. And tell me about the financing. How'd you guys finance that?
So we did 100% financing with a private money lender with 0 points and 10% interest. Okay.
How did you find this private investor?
He funded the whole deal, like the purchase, the repairs, everything. The guy that we used was actually a real estate agent that I used to work with probably 15 years ago. We worked for the same company. He was just getting started as an investor back then. I kind of worked for him a little bit, like with some transactions. And 15 years later, we've kind of stayed in contact and told him what we were doing, and we're looking for some financing. And he's like, send me the details, information, and if it makes sense, then I'll give you funding, 100%, 10% interest. So we were in it. I can't say we weren't in it for any of our money, because as we go through, so like we bought it for $25,000. Okay. Our repair budget was $30,000.
Okay.
So he funded $55,000 right there. that 55,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
55.
did good.
He funded $55,000 of the project.
Okay.
And the way we did draws was he gave us $15,000 at closing. And then once we spent that, we sent him like a spreadsheet of this is what we spent the money on. And so he sent us the next 15,000.
Got it. Easy enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we ended up having to put, $10,000 of our own money into it.
Okay.
Because we went $10,000 over budget.
Okay.
On repairs.
Okay.
And the way we got that 10,000 was, okay, remember the first property we bought, the buy and hold?
Yeah.
Okay, so we did that, and then we did a cash out refi on that once we were done rehabbing it, and we cashed out $10,000.
Awesome.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there's where that $10,000 went. It went back into the rehab of our flip.
Okay. I love it.
So we were in it, purchase price 25, rehab was 41. I guess we were 11,000 in it, 41,000. So we were in it for a total of $66,000.
Okay.
Originally, our timeline was 3 months. I thought, oh, we can do this in 3 months. No problem. Took us 6 months. We ended up selling it for 90,000. Okay, and so you want to know how we got the seller?
Yeah.
Remember the person that referred us to this house?
Yes.
The neighbor?
Right.
Okay. Her ex-husband and the father of her kids bought it.
Oh my God.
So she got us the buyer as well.
This is insane. Oh my gosh.
Hey, there's some benefits to living in a small town.
Seriously. The next time somebody tells me, oh, I live in a small town, this isn't doable, I'm gonna be like, you're full of crap, man. You've got so many advantages. Gosh.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
Okay, so we sold it for 90 minus the 66,000 that we were in it. That comes to like 24. Then we had to pay 10% interest to our private money lender, so minus 5,500. So we profited 18,500
on a house. So basically 20% you made 20% of the ARV is profit.
Yes.
That is at that price point, like that's unheard of.
So
apparently it's heard of. It's rare. I should say that. Wow. Okay. Freaking amazing. And here's the thing. Yeah, it took longer. Do you think that the value also went up in those extra 3 months, or do you think it would have still been 90K?
I don't think we sold it. I think we could have gotten more. Mm-hmm. I think we could have gotten like 95 by the time we were done, but we found the buyer, the buyer was found probably 3 months into the project.
Got it.
And so,
yeah,
I think we left $5,000 on the table, but I think it was a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. You know what? I've done that many times, left some money on the table, but it's always been like, you know what? It ended up being less stressful. A project takes twice as long as what you thought it would take. It's like, I just want to know that there's fire for this because I'm over it.
and by the end of that 5th month and going into that 6th month, it's like, oh, I am so done.
I know it's hard, man. I know it's hard when you're done with a house, you're done with the house.
Yeah. And I definitely got to that point.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Done. And it was hard. It was hard making myself go over there to do the finishing touches and we redid the hardwood floors. And it's like, oh, we have a buyer. Can't he just buy it now like it is? And
just take it.
Exactly.
Okay. Did you guys do the work, most of the work?
We did a lot of the work.
Okay.
Like we did all the interior painting, painted the kitchen cabinets, We did all the demo. Like there was a wall between the living room and the dining room. And my wife's vision was to tear that out and put in an island to open it up into the dining room. So we did all the demolition, which is probably my favorite part, is the demo part.
Oh yeah, and it's very, very therapeutic.
And then I started demoing the bathroom, and it had all the lath and plaster on it. So I ended up like tearing it down to the studs, which was fun until we had to like clean all that up and move it to the dumpster. That was not fun.
Oh God.
So we did a lot of work on our own. Yes.
Did you do you enjoy that? Like y'all enjoy it? Y'all want to do the work yourselves, or?
We thought we did. We have a whole new perception now after we've done it, and both of us working full time and doing it. We've decided on the next few, we're just going to hire it all out.
Yeah.
We make sure we have all that into the rehab cost.
Yep.
And, we're helping somebody else out. We're giving other people jobs. We're paying them.
Yep.
We are going to get things done probably twice as fast.
Right.
And we're able to do the things that we love, like go look for more houses, or, like the wholesale deal that we have under contract. It's basically paint and flooring. We're going to do all the paint ourselves, hire the rest of it out, which we don't mind doing. I mean, because it's like simple. The walls are already white. So we're just going to give it a fresh coat, which will only be a one coater. We're going to paint the ceiling and the walls the same color. So that makes it even easier.
Oh, yeah.
So we enjoy doing those little things.
Yeah.
But I would, after the 6 months after this flip, I would rather spend my weekends out adventuring.
Right.
Which is what we love to do, and not redoing hardwood floors or painting.
Totally. I totally get that. So that's the thing. It's like, when people ask me, well, what if I want to do the work? And I'm like, that's great. But it then becomes more of a job, right? Because then nothing gets done if you're not there. So it's like, let's have like a happy medium, like where you're doing some of the things, but you also get to freaking enjoy life. And you're not just tied to this house that, in 5 months, you're like, I don't even want to go there.
That's exactly where we got. Yeah. I want it to be more of a, like, I think looking back now, I want it to be more of a business and not a job.
Exactly.
I want to be doing the things that are going to produce income and, hire out the rest.
Absolutely.
It's a win-win for everybody. Like, we are finding more deals. We are employing people who need jobs and who do fantastic work for us. We're keeping them busy. So it's just a win-win for all of us.
I think that's such an important point to make. And I think it's hard. It can be hard for some people to hire anybody. Like the fact that you hired a marketing person, it's like, that part's really important. You don't want to do it. You want so that frees up your time to then go find deals and go do the things that you like doing, the parts of the business you like doing. But people get scared of that. Like, it's like, but what if, and it's like, I've always, like, when I've finally hired people in whatever business it is, I've always regretted not doing it sooner. I've never regretted doing it. I've always regretted not doing it sooner. Right. It's like, but you get so nervous, like, oh, but what if, and now I've got to pay this person and that feels stressful. But the whole point is to free you up to do the money-making things.
I think to be successful, you've got to have some type of marketing budget, whether it's big or small. I don't think it matters, but you've got to be able to get your name out there and let people know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're not going to have any leads. And if you don't have any leads, then you're not going to have any deals.
Right.
And so I think we understand how important like lead generation is, and marketing and getting our name out there.
Yes.
I think we've done a fairly good job so far just on our own.
Yeah.
But we know like where we want to go.
Yep.
And to get there, we know that we need somebody that is better at it, who has more time to dedicate to it.
Yeah.
And then we'll take the calls. And but we love to drive for dollars.
Yeah.
We love driving neighborhoods and writing down
too.
addresses.
I do too. I do too. Yep.
Looking up to see who owns it and be like, oh, we know them. Let's just call them, you know? So we love that part. We take the dogs, we go for a ride, and it's just a blast.
Yeah, I love that part too. Even when I'm like traveling, even if I'm in a different city, I'm going to go drive for dollars. I love it. I love going and looking. I love it. So kudos to you. I'm so impressed that you guys are hiring and really running this like a business. It's so different. It's such a different mindset than a job. And like, we're not doing this for it to be a job. We want the time freedom. Like that's the whole point of like doing all of this, right? Like that time freedom is like, that's what we don't get back. We can't make more of that. Can't make more time. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So did you guys in those 6 months, were there some surprises that came up, or was it just like you guys were just doing the work and it just dragged out?
Surprises as in, like, we had a bid for electric to upgrade the electrical service. And then and we should have seen it coming. I mean, this is our fault for not searching it more. But as we dug into it more, there was a lot of knob and tube wiring.
Oh.
And we're like, that's not safe. If we have to have an inspection, we're going to get called out on it. So we ended up, instead of just updating the electrical panel and service, we ended up rewiring the whole house.
Oh, dang.
So, I mean, that doubled our cost.
Oh, sure.
The electrician hadn't budgeted time into that project to rewire the whole house, and they had to like pull wire through everything. And so that probably took an extra 2 months longer than what we had anticipated. So that would have probably been the biggest one, is not planning on the knob and tube wiring being there.
Got it.
Which I'm sure we saw it when we like looked in the attic. It just probably just didn't click with us that like, we need to take care of that.
Yep.
So that was probably the biggest thing.
Okay.
It doubled our electric bill, our electric, bill, and then it also probably drug out 2 months longer just because he had to fit us in between jobs.
Got it.
So
got it. Okay, so that was the biggest surprise.
Yes.
Okay, we talked about how you financed it. That was a private lender. We talked about the GC, like how you ran it. You did a lot of the work. You subbed out things.
We went and got all the supplies, which I don't want to do again because we both have full-time jobs, and we do have like a Sutherland's here in town, which is kind of like a smaller Home Depot type thing, which we ended up going and getting a lot of our stuff at just because of the convenience, but we paid more because of that. Like if we would have went to Wichita, like 20 miles away, and gone to Home Depot or Menards or something like that, we would have saved money. But it just would have cost us more time. So I don't want to do that aspect of it.
Yep.
So I think we learned that we don't want to be the general contractor, and we don't want to be the one getting the supplies. Just because, both of our jobs they're not necessarily 9 to 5.
Right.
So trying to squeeze that in, working full time and making sure we get the supplies on time so that we're not up the contractors.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense for us.
Yeah. That's like one of the biggest things that I still have held on to doing is taking supplies to the job sites. And so I recently got rid of my pickup truck. So I'm like forcing myself to not be the person who goes to get the stuff. Well, I still have an SUV, but I'm like, no, I'm getting rid of my truck. And it's a really big deal. Like my son was like, whoa, you're not going to have your truck? And like my crew is like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, no, y'all are doing this. Y'all are going to get supplies. I'm not doing this anymore.
It's going to free up a lot of your time.
It took 13 years for me to get here. Like, why have I been doing that?
When we did it, we had to go hook up a trailer and then go get the supplies and then go drop them off and then go unload the trailer and then come back. And yeah, it was time consuming.
Yep.
But I don't think we would have gotten to that point unless we had done it through a whole project. So I'm glad we did it so we could learn that just doesn't work for our business model.
Exactly.
Because if it would have, probably saved us some time and we would have gotten the reward points and the rebates from Menards, but
right.
I'm willing to give that up for the extra time that we'll have.
Yep, exactly. And that's exactly it. It's like doing things and testing. Do I like to do this? Is this something we want to do? Or is this something we want to give to somebody else, right? Do we want it on our plate or does somebody else get it on their plate? I love that. Like, I just love your attitude around it. Like, we tried it, doesn't work for us. We're not doing that again. I mean, it's as simple as that.
And I think it's kind of like, we don't mind. I think the hardest thing that we're having troubles with is the fact that we can do a lot of this on our own. Mm-hmm. Like, we can paint and we could probably install the LVT. I mean, there's a lot of things that we could do on our own to probably save money.
Right.
But you've got to think about it. Time is money.
Absolutely.
So I would rather do 2 deals in 6 months and have double the potential income than have one project drag on for 6 months because we decided we wanted to refinish the hardwood floors because we can do that and save money, or we wanted to paint the interior because we can save money. I think that's a learning experience. I think you have to do that and realize it.
Yeah. I totally agree. It's very similar to marketing things, yes, marketing works, but it's testing. It's constantly testing and tweaking. You do some marketing and then you're like, okay, what worked here? Like, what were the results? Do the people we attracted, are they the people we want to work with? No. Okay. We need to tweak some things, right? It's just constant testing and tweaking, which you're doing already in the other aspects of your business. I just love it. Like, I love it. I love this conversation. This is such a fun conversation. Okay. So I think we talked about everything, like logistics and numbers wise that everybody likes to hear about.
Yeah. Yeah.
You invested in the past, you flipped some houses in the past. So I wonder if you had any fears or any concerns going back into this, or were you just you've already dealt with that? You're past that.
I think growing up in the real estate investment business, with my dad and my brother does it and I've done it. I think it's always been a passion. I think now what's changed is the fact that I have a very supportive wife who is do it, and is 100% behind me and helps me in the business. And I think that's what's made all the difference, is having that supportive spouse that is encouraging you to follow your dreams and do what you love.
Right.
So fears, I mean, I guess my thought right now is, if we get this other property this week that we really want to buy and hold, the next thing I'm going to have to figure out, how are we going to finance that?
Right. Right.
Right. But then it's we've already been talking about okay, I've talked to so-and-so who's said, hey, I'd be interested in being a private money lender, but I've never brought him any deals. So I'm maybe I'll put the deal together. If this all works, I'll put the deal together and I'll go pitch it to him and see if he'd be interested in doing it for a short term. And then once it's all renovated, then we just refinance it with our lender, our local lender, into permanent financing over 15 years. So it's I probably am going to have more deals coming in that I'm going to have to find financing for. So I think, and I don't know if that's necessarily a fear. I think that's an excitement. Of bring me as many deals as you can, and
right.
We'll figure out financing.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing. When people are oh, I can't find financing. I'm worried about the financing part. It's no, deals find money. Find the deals, you'll find the money. I promise you. Yeah. But when people are but I tried to get this deal financed, and you look at the numbers and you're well, there's $2,000 of profit. that's why you're not, that's why nobody wants to be an investor on that deal. Like
Right.
it's too thin.
I think if you can go to them with, and show them like your data analyzer information and, after repair value and the potential profit and, like the timeline it's going to take to get there. And
yeah,
if it's a deal, then people with money that are willing to be private money lenders are going to be like, heck yeah, that's a no brainer. I'll make 10 to 12% on return on my investment in 3 to 6 months. It's way better than doing anywhere else.
Exactly. So, impossible exactly. To do anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it's tied to the best collateral there is, real estate. So yes, there are plenty of investors out there. And I have no doubt that you'll be able to find in as much money as you need for your deals. I know you'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. Okay. So just to wrap up, I'm being mindful of time. To summarize,
yes,
within about 12 months, your first year, you will likely have done 12 deals.
Yes.
This week, you'll be on a deal 11, possibly. If the
once we sell them, they'll be 11 and 12. Yeah. So 2 under contract to buy, 1 selling tomorrow. And hopefully this deal that a real estate agent brought me yesterday, we can get a contract written by tomorrow. That will be 3 written offer, 3 contracts in 1 week. I want to do this every week.
Isn't it so fun?
Yes.
It's so fun. Oh, I just want to collect all the houses.
Yes.
So fun. Man, Wendy, I am just so inspired by you. I'm so impressed. I'm not surprised because I can tell by who you are that you just get shit done. And like, thank you for sharing this with us. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. It's impossible for somebody to listen to this and not be inspired to go kick some real estate butt. So
doing it all in a small town.
Exactly. I'm like, all right, I'm moving to a small town, man. Forget Austin.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share all that.
Oh my gosh.
For all your support that you give me and our whole community.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's definitely helps.
Good.
All the support that we get through the community.
Good.
And, and a lot lot of it is mindset. You just gotta just do it.
You really do.
Just know you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is.
Just know there's money out there. If you bring people a deal and there's money to be made, it's a good deal, they're going to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. I'm going to have you on again, and I'm going to be blown away again by all that you've done. Have fun on your day off, and I'll see you in the group. I'm super excited to see what else you do.
As soon as we get these under contract, I'll post some pictures, and
we're here for pictures. We're always here for pictures. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
I appreciate it. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think that's such an important episode for people in big markets, in little markets, in anything in between, because it's all about getting out and doing the thing. And if you're sick of being on the sideline and not taking action because you're scared and you don't want to do this alone, you don't have to. All right. Get on my wait list, because the women inside my program, first of all, the community is unbeatable. The place is awesome. All right. I guarantee you've never experienced anything like it. Secondly, we are closing on deals left and right. We have so many first flips happening right now. Yes, in the middle of a pandemic, right now. And they're smart flips, and they're doing good in their communities. If you want to be part of something really incredible, we would love to have you. If you resonate with my message, if you resonate with my vibe, I know that you're going to love the other women inside the community. All right, go to firstflipdoneright.com, get on the wait list, and you'll have first dibs on the next opening. Because I give so much personal attention to people inside my community, I don't let a ton of people join at once. So it's on a rolling, ongoing basis. All right. So put your name on that list. You will be notified within a week or two of your chance to join. All right. Firstflipdoneright.com. Until next time, go out there, flip houses like a girl, leave people and places better than you find them, and make it a great day. Bye, y'all.